Nigeria has again grabbed global headlines following a spate of attacks by gunmen involving mass kidnappings of students. And that has heaped more pressure on the government after US President Donald Trump threatened military action over the alleged persecution of Christians in Nigeria. Here's what we know. On Friday, the Christian Association of Nigeria said at least 227 students and teachers had been taken from a Catholic school in the northwestern Niger state. That would make it the biggest kidnapping of schoolchildren in the country since March 2024. The first mass abduction since March 2024 took place on Monday. 25 students seized from a predominantly Muslim girls' boarding school in the northwest Kebbi state. On the same day, another armed gang abducted 64 people, including women and children, from their homes in Zamfara state, which borders Kebbi. On Tuesday, gunmen attacked a church in the central Kwara state, killing 2 and kidnapping 38 worshippers, according to a church official. The official said the gunmen had issued a ransom demand for roughly $69,000 per congregant. No one has publicly claimed responsibility. However, most of northern Nigeria is blanketed by insecurity. In the northwest, where most of the recent attacks have occurred, armed gangs known locally as bandits carry out ransom kidnappings and hide in forests. They have no known religious or political motives.
The fact of the matter remains, there's just a lot of money, right, to be made in this enterprise.
Ikemisit Effiong is a senior partner at the Lagos-based consultancy SBM Intelligence.
We have seen and noticed a situation where groups that were more ideologically coherent have completely flipped their operations to just, making money out of this practice in order to procure more weapons, secure a better, means of living for themselves.
In the northeast, jihadist groups Boko Haram and Islamic State West Africa province are waging an insurgency. Over 2 million people have been displaced and tens of thousands killed over the past 15 years. In central Nigeria, where the mostly Muslim north meets the largely Christian south, there are deadly clashes over religion, ethnicity, and access to land and water. Nigeria says claims that Christians are facing persecution misrepresent the complex security situation and don't take into account efforts to safeguard religious freedom.
Defeat terrorism.
The country has 230 million people across around 200 ethnic groups, and tensions often flare. The US has said it is considering actions such as sanctions and Pentagon engagement on counter-terrorism. That's part of its plan to compel the Nigerian government to better protect Christian communities and religious freedom. But Effiong says the data shows that when it comes to violence in Nigeria, it's, quote, essentially a free-for-all, regardless of whether the victims are Christians, Muslims, or people of other religious persuasions.
The fact of the matter remains that the confluence of economic, political, social, and environmental factors means that for many communities in this country, the overwhelming majority of whom are religiously and ethnically diverse, the preconditions exist for violence to occur.